shame to talk over it, really, doesn't it? But there's a lot to talk about as well, because we're marking 40 years since that man died, the reggae legend Bob Marley. Obviously, this is being richly marked in Jamaica, and one thing that caught our eye is a coverage in the Jamaica Observer. They have published 40 stories in 40 days on Bob Marley, interviewing many people who knew him. Brian Bonito is one of those behind the scheme. And Brian, I gather you're still finding things out that you didn't know about the great man, which seems remarkable. So tell us, who have you been talking to? What kind of stories have you got?
Okay, we've been talking to people in Bob Marley's inner circle. People like his former manager, Alan Skill Cole, like his former doctor, Dr. Carlton Pee Wee Fraser. We've spoken to his audio engineer, that's Errol Brown, who was at the last concert. We spoke to Ziggy Marley, his son, Julian Marley, his son, and Skip Marley, his grandson.
So what a picture you're getting. Sort of new stuff coming out as well that we didn't know about the great man?
I've been getting new stuff. His former manager, Alan Skill Cole, who represented Jamaica in football at the age of 15, he said when Bob collapsed in New York, he wasn't jogging. He was just warming up to play a football match. So he was setting the record straight. He wasn't jogging. He was just warming up on the spot.
Oh, it's a very vivid story that he tells as well, isn't it? The poor man has a seizure, and Skill kind of helps him back to his feet, and then he carries on playing football.
Carried on, because he said he was out there to play football, and that is what he wanted to do.
Listen, how do you think he's being remembered now? Because obviously he's, on the one hand, an incredible brand, for himself, but also for Jamaica as well. But there's a spiritual side, there's a musical side, there's a business side. What do you think dominates Jamaican conversation?
Well, for the most part, his spirituality and the message in his music. He had a message of love. He had a message of African unity. He had a message of hope. He was the voice of the voiceless. Therefore, he's multifaceted in that regard. Remember, BBC chose his song One Love as the song of the millennium. So that speaks volumes.
It really does, doesn't it? And in terms of, I'm kind of interested, musically speaking, obviously he so put reggae on the world map and that kind of thing.
He was the standard bearer.
Is the music seen as a heritage act now, or does it still live?
The music still lives in the second and third generation. You have some Marleys doing reggae. You have other groups out there. It's now dominated, though, by California bands like, Revolution and those groups out of California. They are carrying the reggae band on, which nothing is wrong, because reggae is a global brand. So that is what is happening now. We have different people outside of Jamaica carrying on the reggae.
And he and the Wailers, of course, were quite often sort of caught up in politics as well. He tries to transcend it as well in a way with the kind of the universality of the message. I just wonder, is he still political? I mean, are there arguments about how to remember him? Does he have a statue?
He does have a statue. A statue is across the road from the National Arena. There is a statue of him there. And there are calls for him to be a national hero,
Which would have been ironic to the man, wouldn't it? I mean, here's this opposition figure. Totally. Yeah.
Yes. And he, politically speaking, he wasn't part of a political party. He was just trying to unify all the sides.
And that's the message that still remains. It's unity and it's love. Brian, thank you so much. I really recommend the Jamaica Observer, 40 stories in 40 days on the great Bob Marley. 40 years, sadly, since he died in his late 30s.